raise your hand. Like, first of all, like, let's raise our hand and be truthful with one another that this quarantine has made everyone be more introspective. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Nadine Speaks. So coming at you with another rant video. We're gonna file this under things I've been thinking of because all I've been doing is thinking. If that makes sense to you. Before I get into what I've been thinking lately and what has been going on in this little brain and little head of mine, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to get more subscribers. I'm trying to figure out what people like to hear from me. So let me know down below. If you haven't already, hit that red subscription button down below to see this beautiful face on your feed, and hit that notification bell and give me a big thumbs up if you're liking what you're seeing. And today's what is Nadine thinking? Raise your hand. Like, first of all, like, let's raise our hand and be truthful with one another that this quarantine has made everyone be more introspective. And I thought I was introspective before the quarantine, but life has taught me in the past couple months that, girl, you have a lot to think about and you have a lot to work on in your mind, because you have toxic thoughts, and no, not everyone else is a toxic one. I have toxic thoughts, so I'm sure you do too, and it's time to recognize them. And I'm trying to call those toxic thoughts out so they leave my brain and I never have to think about them again. This is me spilling my feelings and thoughts all over YouTube and letting you know that you're not alone, and it's okay to think these thoughts, but we need to find a different way on how to deal with them. Lately, I've been having really toxic thoughts. I'm thinking about my own toxic behaviors as a human being and the things I tell myself that are not actually very healthy. And I don't know if you know this, the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you speak to yourself inside your head mostly sometimes translates into how you speak to others in your outer world. And I like to think that everything, all your relationships, everything that you interact with in your reality is just a mirror and a reflection about your own relationship with yourself. And remember that you need to work on your relationship with yourself before or during or after. You know, that's another toxic thought. Let me just tell you that people are like, oh, well, you don't even love yourself. How is anyone gonna love you, or how are you gonna love anyone else? Well, I'm telling you now that working on yourself is always a work in progress. You're never gonna be done working on yourself. So yes, you can love yourself while also addressing that you also have negative thoughts and the things that you do that are not very loving. So I just wanted to put that out there that, you know, like, people are always like, oh, well, you have to wait to love yourself to love anybody else. Well, honestly, if we're being really and brutally honest here, everyone's always working on themselves, and everyone is always trying to better themselves. Well, hopefully you are, because if you're not, then I don't know what you're doing, honestly, because I really think the meaning of life is to work on yourself and just be better than the day previously. Can I get an amen? Amen. Yeah, I'm getting kind of preachy here, but for real, like, you have to figure out what's going on in your head, and the negative shit, you need to deal with it. And this quarantine, if it hasn't taught me anything, if it's only taught me one thing, it's that you need to work and constantly be introspective and work on what is going on in this mumbo jumbo little brain of yours. Let me just dive right into what I've been feeling and thinking about myself and what I've been dealing with. But I know, I'm gonna call myself out, that I'm a people pleaser. I love to people please. I love to make people feel good. I love to put people on a pedestal before I even think about what I want or what I need or what I want to do. And, you know, that's goes along also with setting up healthy boundaries and making sure that I'm, you know, healthy inside before I, you know, take on too much. This manifests in several different ways. The reason I know this is because I have a tendency to just like want to do too much or like put too much on my plate, and then I think about it later like, oh, why can't I be successful in anything? Well, girl, you put too much on your plate so you can't even tackle one little piece of the pie before you want to tackle the whole thing. Let me know if you're like this and if it makes sense to you. But I'm the kind of person who always wants to go out with everyone. I always want to say yes to everyone, that I can hang out with everyone, because why not? Because I'm just that kind of person that just wants to do everything all the time. And I forget that in order to lead a healthy life, you need to set up some routines and boundaries that are going to help you build that healthy lifestyle and the way that you want to live. I really care what other people think about me, and so sometimes, this is my toxic way of thinking, I feel like if I say no to someone or I turn someone down, that I feel bad because they're gonna think negatively of me, or they're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna invite her ever again. I mean, the reason I think that way is because that has actually happened, especially when I was growing up in my life. Raise your hand if you've ever been excluded or felt excluded, especially when you're growing up in high school because you didn't go to that party or you didn't do that thing with that group of friends, and now they're like, oh, well, she's not gonna do that ever with us, so we're just not gonna invite her and we're gonna conveniently leave her out. Yeah, so that whole idea of thinking basically followed me to my adult life through college. You know, through college I wanted to people please, I wanted to be the life of the party, I wanted to do everything to make everyone else happy because I really cared what they thought about me. And you know, people are like, oh, you're not supposed to care what people think about you, but you know, like, it's 50-50. Everything has a balance. You should care what people think about you, because sometimes you cannot observe, you know, how you are making people feel and how you are, you know, being perceived by other people, because that's important for your own growth to get an outsider's perspective. If it's always like, well, I don't care what they think, or, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, like, that kind of stunts your growth spiritually and mentally and emotionally, and doesn't really make you mature into a good person. I always like see these videos on YouTube, like how not to care what people think, but like at the same time I think to myself, like, well, I really do care what people think, because what other people think does matter to me at the end of the day. And you know what, I'm here to tell you that is perfectly okay, and it's okay to care what other people think, but also it's really good to care what you think about other people and what you think about yourself. So there's two sides of every sword and feeling. That's the problem, is I always care too much on what I'm doing and how will it affect people, instead of if what I'm doing makes me happy, or if that's what I actually really want or achieve in life. And sometimes, you know, growing up, like, I'm almost 30, I'm 29, and I'm starting to really think about like what it is that I want to do in life. Like, what am I put on this earth for? What is my purpose? And really, something that makes me happy is making other people happy, and that's just the way it is. I care about caring about other people and helping them. My life purpose is to help people, and whatever form it may be, whether it be in my work where I protect the rights of human subjects in research, or I'm, you know, helping my friend do their thing, or I'm making someone feel good, like cooking for them or stuff like that. However, although these are very positive things, sometimes they get swept into like negativity, and so I have to watch out and keep life balanced. And so that's the thing about life, is there's this whole dualism part of life, and that even if something's very positive and you have a positive intention, it might have negative consequences that you're not thinking about. And so this also translates in my world as to it's hard to make decisions, because most of the time I don't really care, like, I really don't care which way or another. Like, I really care mostly about the other person and what makes them happy, but I just have to constantly remind myself that what I want and what I care and whatever is gonna make me happy is okay too, and it's okay to voice that. Let me know if this makes sense to you, because this is an interesting topic that I feel like people don't really talk about, and it's really hard to talk and express these kinds of things because people don't want to hurt other people, and this is another toxic belief, is that I'd rather hurt myself and hurt my feelings than hurt someone else's feelings. And so that can be and manifest into some negative shit, especially for me in regards to my own like healthy and the way that I think and live my life. So I thought I would just make a video of my own toxic traits just to show you that everyone, even me, I know I'm an angel, but you know, even me, I have toxic traits and I'm not perfect. And it's really important to admit that you are not perfect and that you're in a work in progress and you're constantly changing and morphing into a better person. I always try to live my life like, you know, I'm gonna be better than the person I was yesterday, but we all make mistakes. And I think that's important to recognize when you're dealing with other people and you're reacting to, you know, something that triggers you. It's important to understand in your mind, like, what is it exactly that's triggering me or making me react in such a harsh, negative way. And sometimes I have to stop and think and like really just figure out what in my head has caused me to believe that. And that's another thing, is people are very like stuck in their ways and they're like, oh, I'm not gonna change for anyone, because you know, it's, you don't want to change for somebody, but just remember that you should always change and be better for yourself. And that's what I'm trying to do during this quarantine. I'm really trying to be healthier in my mind, body, and soul. And dealing with toxic thoughts and feelings is a big one. And let me know down below, leave a like on this video if this quarantine is causing you to be more introspective, because that's what I've seen with all my friends and family. And what have you thought is one of your toxic traits, and have you actually tried to change that and make it better? Let me know down below in the comments. Let's have a discussion. Are toxic traits something that you can change, or is it just that's your personality and then that's the way it is? Let me know. I know I probably said that 10 million times, but guys, leave some comments, because I feel like I'm just talking to myself here. So leave some comments, because I want to participate in a conversation with you on what you think. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.